Hey everyone, John Bowes here, Chair of the Plymouth County Democratic League and State Committee person for Plymouth and Norfolk. And I am here with Robert, who is the Chair of Pembroke, right?
That's correct, yeah. Chair of the Pembroke Town Democratic Committee.
And
Longtime Democrat.
Longtime Democrat. And you've been making phone calls for us down to the Georgia 6th.
Yep.
And then we were making phone calls to the Kansas 4th.
James Thompson. Yeah.
James Thompson. That was great. I couldn't believe he got that close. That was
Yeah.
amazing. And John Ossoff won it last night. Didn't get the 50+1, but won it, which is a lot of votes
Did a
there.
really good job. Very encouraging.
Exciting. But we are here today to talk about the Massachusetts Democratic Party platform. A lot of you know that we've got this going on.
I just want to, for a second here, I want to thank you for all the efforts you made in putting together the Cranberry Corner phone banking. That was an excellent thing because people are looking around for ways to help, especially these days. And I mean, how many callers did you finally?
So last night we had 132 callers.
Mhm.
Well, not last night, all day.
Yeah.
We finished off with about 103 for that last push. From our region, Plymouth County, as well as Norfolk County and all over the state. So
It's
we got
impressive.
a pretty good crew. We were banging through some phone numbers like you wouldn't believe, to the point that Georgia had to keep changing the call list,
Yeah.
which I know a lot of our people were having problems with that. But they hung in there. It was really a great thing. And we're going to do South Carolina and Montana.
Yeah.
And we're going to, of course, do Georgia again.
Well, I absolutely believe that this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be 50 state. We got to talk to everybody. We got to get together, and this is the way to do it again. Thanks for your efforts.
No problem. So, in addition to doing our work for party stuff, we also have to decide what we stand for.
Right. Very important.
So we had a great meeting on Thursday night with probably about 60 people.
Yeah, I'd say
Around
so.
there.
Yeah, up in Weymouth.
Up in Weymouth, where we talked through the platform. If you go to my website, bose3.com, you can download the tutorial that we put together, as well as the actual 2013 platform.
Yeah.
Now, Robert, you at that meeting brought up something that I think is important.
Yes.
That's not in our platform, and you did a quick write-up, and you're going to present this at the...
Well, with some editing modification, I am going to present this at least 3 of the platform meetings that are held in the original schedule. And it's about trade, promoting trade that's fair and benefits American workers. That's only the beginning. There are a lot of other issues that trade affects. And in particular, although it's not mentioned in this particular document, but I'm going to add it, is the what's known as the ISDS, which is the Investor State Settlement Device. ISDS. I always get that confused.
It's
ISDS.
acronyms. We've got a lot of them.
But in any case, what it does is it allows a company through the country that they're based in to go to the WTO, the World Trade Court, and submit before a 3-judge panel a complaint against a country based on trade, based on NAFTA and CAFTA and some other trade treaties. And it's happened most recently in 2016 where Canada and Mexico got together and filed a complaint with the WTO. And the WTO ruled in their favor and said to the U.S. basically, you can no longer label or require that importers label their products country of origin. The original law was very popular. It was democratically
Made in
enacted.
America.
Yes. Well, it's not so much made in America. I mean, that's certainly one aspect. But all this law required was that if you're exporting meat to the U.S. or fish, certain agricultural products, that you had to label that product as to where it came from.
Right.
And it was a very popular law, but the WTO said, yeah, that might affect these companies' profits. So they told the U.S.
Can't do
repeal
anything.
the law. And in fact, Congress in 2016 repealed the law. So now you don't have the right to know where your food, or particular meats and fishes, where it came from. And so these trade practices and the investor state dispute settlement affect food safety, labor laws, environmental laws. Any corporation in any country that's a signatory to these treaties can come in and basically reach into your state, and that could be Massachusetts, and force the legislature. They wouldn't be acting directly in the Massachusetts state
They go with
legislature.
Congress.
They would. It's a trade is a federal situation, but nevertheless, the law is repealed. It would be repealed under orders of a 3-judge panel.
So a couple of things I want to quickly touch base so we're all on the same page. So what we're talking about right here is what's called a plank. It's an idea that is part of the platform.
Right.
Now we're talking about the Massachusetts Democratic Party plank. And the reason why World Trade issue is actually something for a state is I live in Marshfield, and Marshfield is like the 4th largest fishing fleet. And this is a huge deal for us because they are competing with Canadians, Russians, people from other fishing communities. And without the fish being labeled, when you buy locally at a Stop and Shop at Shaw's, Roach Brothers. Roach Brothers is a little bit different because they do source locally as well as Whole Foods. You don't know where it came from. So places like Whole Foods, they are advertising where the actual fish came from. Same thing with Roach Brothers as well. So in addition to that, the other thing that I think is important why this should be a plank is we have a high-tech industry. A lot of people don't think of us as being manufacturing, but we do have a high-tech industry that has similar problems with trade, unfair competitive advantages. So while a plank that would be centered around trade may seem a little bit odd for a state, I think it's hugely important.
Very important.
Now, you've done some other work on this, too. What else do you got in there?
Well, I mean, without reading the whole thing, it basically lays out the entire, the philosophy of what I think the party should be. I mean, the party is all about women's rights, workers' rights, equal, opportunity, equal opportunity, economic.
Right.
Economic opportunity is everything for the majority of the population, and I believe that, in fact, one of the sad things about 2016 is that we suffered a substantial loss in no small part due to the fact that Donald Trump was able to basically hijack the trade and industry issue. I mean, he went out to the Midwest. In fact, there was an interesting article in Rolling Stone magazine a few months ago, maybe it was in February, and a reporter went out there and talked to a lot of voters who in the past had voted for Obama and were Democrats, but voted for Trump this time around, specifically because of promises he made in trade and industry. Now, I think we're going to see that he's going to go back on those promises.
Well, yeah, we're already starting to see that.
Yeah, we're seeing that. He's not. I don't think he's going to repeal anything in NAFTA and CAFTA. If it's altered, it's going to be probably altered in such ways to further benefit the wealthy and manufacturers and companies.
So now you said that this was brought up as and adopted at a convention as an issue that we stand for.
Yes.
So you're going to hopefully submit this in Brockton or one of the other meetings as a possible plank. So
I'm going to a bunch of the meetings. Plymouth, Arlington. Yeah.
So just want to go over that. So basically what's happening is there's a board of people who are accepting ideas for the 2017 platform. And what you do is you basically go in front of the board with your idea and you present it. And it's a good idea if you're going to present an idea that you also do what Robert did, which is write it up so that you can submit it in writing so that the board members can have that to review. Now, I think this is a great idea.
The other thing you mentioned is brevity.
Yes.
So they're not going to allow me to read this whole thing.
You get 3 minutes.
They want me to summarize it.
Yeah.
Brevity and conciseness. Summarize, get to your point, get the key points, the real meat of the matter, and that's why I'm going to change this document to talk about the ISDS. So
we have 3 readings in our region. One in New Bedford, which is a little bit far for people to travel to. I understand one of your town committee members is going to go down there?
Well, not a town committee member, but one of my group of this trade group.
Okay, good.
That was fiercely against Trans-Pacific Partnership. They were an offshoot of MoveOn.org, Boston chapter. But they took up that cause, the fight against the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And it just pains me so much. I mean, we as Democrats, we have a problem with this
Right.
issue because we've had two presidents that pushed this globalization to the exclusion of what was happening at home.
Mhm.
And I understand the theory behind trade and trying to get all nations trading together. If you're trading together, you're probably not getting in a war.
Okay,
together.
hard to go to war with your trading partner.
Right, exactly. And that's all well and good, but the problem is too much power was given to the corporations inside
Right.
those countries through the ISDS. So
Unfortunately, it becomes a race to the bottom.
it does.
Instead
exactly.
of lifting others up, we are kind of going down.
Mhm.
So we have one in Plymouth, and we have one in Brockton. The Brockton one is coming up. That's the 27th
Mhm.
at the Firefighters Hall.
Yep.
And then the Plymouth one is in May. I think it's May 6th. Is that right?
I don't have the list handy.
So if you go to my website, bose3.com,
Yeah, I know it's on there. Yeah.
And then you're just going to go in and present with everyone else.
Yep.
So there's 12 meetings statewide. And then all these things get compiled in and presented to the state party, state committee, where we put together a draft and it gets voted on at convention. And you're going to the convention, you're going
Yes,
as a delegate?
going as, yeah,
I'm a delegate as well.
Yep.
You're ex officio,
correct.
and I am.
So are you.
I am too.
Yeah.
So neither of us had to get voted, but we had a lot of people show up at our convention, at our caucuses.
Yes.
First time getting involved. Really excited about that. It's going to be a good convention.
Have been on a push to increase membership of the Pembroke Town Democratic Committee, and I hate to say it in a way, the best thing that happened to us in terms of this election brought so much awareness to people. This stuff matters,
Yeah, it does.
and you have to get involved. You have to get, and we are. The town committees are the grassroots.
Yeah. And I'm going to quote Kevin Jones, one of the other town chairs in my Senate district, who says, Bernie Sanders people want to take over the party. Well, here's a chair. Here's the key to the door. Make sure you shut off the lights when you leave. We got plenty of work to do. We would love to have you get involved. I'm going to be doing 7 more of these, one in each one of the towns that I represent. So that is Hingham tomorrow night. Then I'm doing Duxbury, Situate, and Weymouth on Saturday, and then Cohasset, Hingham, and Norwell on Sunday. Check out my website, bose3.com. And we got phone banking going on. Make calls from home. We got 3 more. There are 4 special elections. We have 3 more to go. We got South Carolina, Montana, and then we're going to do Georgia again for the special. He's in June. Look, you get the government you deserve. If you show up, you get the government you deserve.
I started off in this. My wife got tired of listening to me complain and said, get involved. And Elizabeth Warren started running. And I was really enthusiastic about her. I saw her one night in Brockton. And immediately he started phone banking in Hanson for her. And that's where it all started for me. And I got involved in other elections. Some people don't like phone banking. I like it. I like going door to door. I like because it's proven that these actions have results.
Oh, we've seen it twice now.
Yes, and you're making a difference, and it really feels good rather than just throwing stuff at the TV.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same. Or fighting with other people on social media.
Right.
For me, it's I think the door to door is the best part because they can't hang up on you. Also, I got a little bit of belly, so it helps when I'm out walking around.
Yeah.
So this is John and
Bob Kopper.
And we're going to hang up now, and I hope to see you at one of my events. I will talk to you guys later.